Live and loud from the 2012 Rockstar Energy Mayhem Festival. I am Joe Schrifton for Horns Up Rocks. We're here in Hartford, Connecticut for the last chapter. This is Calm Before the Storm. Right now, let's pan over here and show the people coming into the festival. All you gotta do right now is keep your eyes glued right here. We're gonna bring you artist interviews, we're gonna bring you images, we're gonna bring you the crazy fans who are just getting to the Mayhem because the Mayhem is about to begin here in Hartford, Connecticut.
I want all of you to put your horns up now.
HornsUpRocks.com.
First of all, why you came up with this concept 5 years ago?
Well, in 2007, Ozfest was free. And my partner, Kevin Lyman, and I, who runs the Warped Tour, we'd done Taste of Chaos together for 5 years. At that point, we'd done it for 3 years. And Ozfest is free, and it's like, you know, where do you go from free? It's very difficult to go somewhere from free. And on top of that, you know, our long-term partners, Rockstar Energy Drink, were looking for a summertime property. And heavy music, it's kind of their lifestyle and what they do. But you know, the biggest thing was I grew up, you know, I worked with Guns N' Roses in the late 80s to the mid 90s, did Danzig, managed GNR, so many like heavy bands, and it was my soul and it was my spirit. So we, Kevin and I talked, we talked to our, you know, CAA who books it with us, and we decided, fuck it, let's go for it. Called up Slipknot, who I'd signed way back in the late 90s, and called up Disturbed, and I said, would you guys be interested in taking a journey with us that first year? And they both agreed, and we turned it, I think, into something pretty special.
Final show, tell us your thoughts about the festivals. I mean, the experiences you just had for the last month or so.
Well, you know, this is one of the first ones I've ever done that's been a rolling tour with everyone, the catering, all the same bands and stuff like that. Like, is, you know, in the size of it with a double stage. So it's turned out great. I mean, it's been very, very well run, and we're having a blast. You know.
How has been the response of the public to worship music?
That's been great. I mean, it's so hard to say when you do a record you're going to get what you think you might get out of it. You just don't have any idea. You just feel happy about what you've achieved as far as the record itself. And if people dig it, that's just more for you to enjoy. But it's been enormous, you know.
And it's been quite a year since you guys put it out. Last September, right before the Big Four show in Yankee Stadium, hometown show, was ANTHRAX Day, and now you're here in the Mayhem Fest. So, you know, this whole year has definitely treated ANTHRAX very, you know, finally you're getting kind of like that kind of positivity back that you guys deserve.
Well, I wasn't around when they weren't getting it, if they weren't getting it. So all I can say is I'm here to just do what I've always done, is try to, you know, sing well and, you know, and make the show run the way I like it, and, you know, the way we like to run, you know, like the old days. So, you know, I just think everything we do now is just a positive way of thinking. You know, we're trying to reach more of a goal as a band, you know.
And why don't you tell us what you guys kind of told, you know, you guys told Mayhem Fest you wanted to headline the second stage. What was that decision? Instead of the big stage, why did you guys want to do the second stage?
I don't know, it just seemed like at that time of the night people are still strolling in the seats, you know. It's a little, I mean, not that seats are stale. It's just, you know, and I could be one of those people that sit in the seat and enjoy a show and not move around. But it's kind of fun to be out there in the crowd with just a flat ground, with people and can bang heads, smoke cigarettes, do whatever, you know, whatever you want to do. you know, anything you want to do is just kind of get reckless, you know.
Today you're obviously in a big festival, big work. So far so good for you guys as far as winning new fans?
Yeah, everyone's been very responsive. The reactions have been really good, and I think we've definitely won over some new hearts out there.
And hey, you're playing with your homeboys, you know, being from England, I'm sure, like, playing right before Motorhead. I mean, is something like 10 years ago you ever thought it was going to happen?
No, it's not one of those things growing up where you think, yeah, I'm going to play with Motorhead. No, but, I mean, it's awesome, and they're really good guys, and it's awesome to be out on the road with them.
And from all the shows you've played in the last month, which ones are the towns that stood out for you? Maybe a new place that you played that you were like, all right, cool.
There was nowhere new. I mean, we've spent the last 4 years touring the States. Detroit was just on a different planet. It was absolutely unreal. And I have a feeling today is going to be absolutely insane.
Yeah, there are a lot of people out there very excited. Sunday, you know, it's coming, you know, it's almost a combination of the summer festival season.
Yeah.
One of the cool things about the Mayhem Fest is such a good catapult. Every band has a very different sound, as you know. I mean, of course, there's similarities out there, but I'm sure as a young upcoming band, but who's been doing this for a while, it's a good catapult when you can win like the Slayer fans over, when you can win the Motorhead. You know, it's like a great catapult. So why don't you talk a little bit about that? How like Mayhem is kind of like giving you guys that sort of platform.
Yeah, for sure. The first half of the tour, when we were playing on the main stage, we got to play to a lot more Slayer and Slipknot fans, like kind of their diehards that came later in the show, as opposed to now we play a little bit earlier. But yeah, just getting to play in front of those fans and seeing them, like, first song they'd be like, I'm not really sure about this band, and then like a couple songs in, like nudging their friend, being like, oh, I think I like this band, and then by the end of the set they're standing up and like throwing up horns. It's pretty awesome to just be able to play in front of so many people that normally wouldn't even check us out, and they actually enjoy it. So
Quite a trip.
Yeah, he said it. It's just a very surreal experience just being on a festival with legendary metal bands like Slayer and Slipknot, so I've been stoked.
And stuff that we grew up watching maybe on video, and then you're like on it. You're like a part of it.
yeah, for sure. I remember pretty much when YouTube first came out, like searching Joey Jordison drum videos and stuff. So like it's just insane to me that I was actually playing on the same stage, so that's cool.
You guys learned a few tricks from all this. I mean, obviously you guys are a very professional band, but let's say from the veterans, you guys learned some new tricks. If so, which tricks maybe you learned from watching maybe, you know, the production, or tricks within like how they run their sets?
As far as Slayer and Slipknot go, I have learned that we need a lot more fire.
That's true.
Yep.
That's always a plus.
Yeah, we need way more pyro, because we have none, and they have a lot.
On top of that, I also, looking at two bands that have been around for so long like that, I see it as they've been very consistent with being what they are, not developing into any trends and stuff. I mean, they're starting half the trends that go around, you know, but it's one thing, and that's something we always look forward for in our band and shows and music, is to not fall into any trends, but to just stay true to what we are and what we want to do with the band.
The job is done, brother.
Oh yeah, we were just talking about it. It's done, and I'm worn out. I'm beat. My body hurts. I need to go home, and I need some R&R real bad.
What is the first thing you're gonna do when you get home?
Man, that's a good question. Well, unfortunately, when we get back, we put all our stuff at Gabe's house. So when we get back, we have to, you know, it takes a good 3 hours to get everything unloaded and the bus unpacked, and then we go home, and I'm gonna shower in my own shower, and possibly shit in my own toilet. So.
Exciting times coming up.
Oh yes, very much. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So.
But hey, very importantly, new self-titled album is out. The reviews, you know, I mean, for everybody who hasn't heard it yet, I don't know what they're waiting for, but it is, I think, what everybody expected. But has it exceeded your expectations personally?
Well, yeah, I think it has, because it's been one of those things, like, and we knew when we put it out that the really, you know, the hardcore fans that liked the very first album and wanted everything to be like that, they're going to be hit or miss with it, you know. But then you have fans that have loved us since the beginning, but have loved the changes we made every album. So, and not only that, you know, they stuck with it and they love the changes. That, you know, it's still Whitechapel, it's still heavy and pissed. You know, we got breakdowns if you want those. You know, it's just more metal. It's like melodic metal too. And you know, with the new one coming out, you know, I think even we're gaining fans that didn't know. Like, I've heard people say, you know, I used to not like Whitechapel. Now I really do. You know, they really dig this album. So, and then we do the signings, the Rockstar tent, and we see people going through the line, you know, with ANTHRAX shirts on, you know, older guys wearing Slayer shirts, a lot of Slipknot shirts too coming through. Just, I never heard you guys are awesome. So, yeah, I think the new album, especially playing the new songs live too from the album, are going over well. So.
And this was a great platform for you guys to present those new songs to a completely different, you know, obviously you're going to have your fans that are going to come see you, but, you know, a lot of different ears that come to these type of festivals to experience that, what you just said, like, hey, wow, you know, I just saw you guys for the first time, let's pick that up. You know, it's a big promotional tool for you guys.
Well, not only that, like, you know, when you hear a song on CD and you see it live, it changes your perspective of it completely. I mean, I know people that are just like, yeah, the Mitch is groovy, I didn't really like it on the CD, and I saw it live, and I was like, oh, okay, you know, they dug it a lot more, you know. I think it's a good way to present, you know, the slower, heavier song off the album, you know, is live, because it's crushing live. That's the idea. So, but.
So would you say the hard work, because, I mean, people might think that you guys are like, you know, came up, you know, a couple years ago. No, but you've been doing this for a while strong. Is the hard work finally paying off for you guys?
I mean, so far, absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's always paid off, and not to mention you know, the second time we've done Mayhem. How can you not say it hasn't paid off? You know, if we work our asses off and we tour a lot. You know, I mean, so we've been at it for a while, and I think it's starting to pay off. You know, hopefully, even from this tour, get a little more recognition. And you know, we're doing the Hatebreed tour coming up, and you see a lot of, you know, we're trying to reach out to. We had the young fans, but we're trying to reach out to a lot more fans. You know, that just like metal, and that's kind of what we're hoping for, because the Hatebreed tour is gonna be awesome, because there'll be a lot of guys that are just older that just never heard us. You know, so it'll be cool, and I'm thinking the Hatebreed crowd will like us too. So. I mean, yeah, I think as far as reaching out and grabbing different people, it's starting to pay off for sure.
Been a pretty wild ride for you guys.
Yeah, you learn a lot. You know, you learn a lot of professionalism, a lot of what to do, what not to do. You know, you soak in a lot of stuff and get to be around legends. So that's something that you can always have, you know. So we're really grateful and proud to have made it to this tour, and we look forward to, you know, hopefully this really helping us, you know, and seeing how it's helped us in the future shows, you know, hopefully get a little bigger and do it up like that, you know.
Definitely
It's definitely a stepping stone.
yeah, definitely a landmark in our career for sure, this tour.
Well, what was the craziest crowd for you guys? The best response that you can kind of point out, maybe a few shows. You don't have to select just one, you know?
I know that off the top of my head, the first show stands out a lot, San Bernardino. And then Dallas was awesome. It's our home state, so
Florida was cool
Florida
too.
was really cool. There's a few, man. It was like mainly when we were on the Jaeger stage, they were pretty much all just phenomenal. They're just going nuts. So we're doing really well. The response is really good on that one. So.
And what was that night that you guys kind of like pinch each other when you were like, holy fuck, we are at Mayhem Fest?
Yeah, every day we were. You know?
Wow, yeah, every day we wake up, we're like, what the hell am I? Oh shit, you know, I'm in my bunk on a bus at Mayhem. Holy shit, you know, it's crazy.
This thought selection process, as you said before, is very complicated because you also want to have like the promotional aspect to it. So that way, if you like, obviously Slayer, everybody here today likes Slayer, but they might see, you know, Asking Alexandria is a perfect example, which is one of the new and upcoming bands, and it's cool because you can switch the person's gear. You know, I like Slayer, but hey, I'm gonna go check them out. Maybe pick up the record, maybe pick up the T-shirt, and then everybody wins.
You know what? What I think one of our biggest success stories with Mayhem has been, and look, the record companies are all fucked, man. They're done. They're cooked. They put so little resources behind groups that they used to because there's not the money to be made. So, you know, our goal ultimately is to create new headliners. I think we've done that with helped do that with Five Finger Death Punch. You know, we had them on the very first Mayhem in 2008, and they played at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, like fucking 7 times. And, you know, 2 years later or 3 years later, we had them on the main stage. You know, my goal next is to get them to be one of the headliners of this festival. But we have to, as an industry, we have to create new artists that have mass appeal. And we have to, I put it as a duty of mine to help do that, to help bring up talent to the place where they can become, you know, Job for a Cowboy. You know, there's so many great bands out there, young bands, and so much Europe. You know, and it's hard to bring over a lot of the European stuff because they make so much money in Europe, and it's like we can't pay them the massive fees here because it's, you know, it's different. The American festivals and European festivals are different. You know, in U.S. music fans are so lucky, like, they would try to see this lineup in Australia or England or somebody, they'd pay $150 for a ticket, and here
And sell it out.
and sell it out. But here you can come to this festival for $25, you know, and so ultimately it's a like you said earlier, it's about balancing the package, balancing everything to make sure that we fill it and it works.
And now you're taking the show on the water, the first Mayhem cruise. Yeah. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, we're working on that. It's been an exciting process, so it's cool.
And what's next for you guys?
I have Uproar. I also produce the Uproar Festival. I produce a dance music festival. I do a lot of shit. I've got Knotfest I'm producing with Slipknot, with Clown and Corey Brennan. That happens in 2 weekends, which is going to be a monster. With Knotfest, we're trying to create this extravaganza experience. We've got these gigantic fire installations, and we've got this Circle of Death ride, and we've got mud luges where kids are gonna, be able to fucking go down the mud and they get painted. We've got shit you can beat on. We've got the Slipknot Museum where you can see the whole synthesis of the band from the time they started all the way through with dead cow heads and fucking. The other thing is we've got smells. I mean, we're making the whole festival. We want it to be like something for the five senses, and where you feel, you feel it, you taste it, you touch it, you smell it, everything. And so there's even going to be a Knotfest is even going to have its own smell. So it's pretty dope.
And Lemo got his back on the bill.
Lemo got his back. Yeah, Lemo. And we've been, we do a big charity campaign on this festival called Medal of Honor, where we support our troops and we support people that like with post-traumatic stress disorder, and we generate a lot of money and we give it to these various charities that we have. This year we also contributed a lot of money to Randy's defense fund, because I love Randy, I believe in him, and it's a tragic circumstance that happened, but sorry, thank God he's back. And we're stoked, and to get him on Knotfest is super exciting. His first performance since he got out of jail, and out of prison actually, and it's going to be awesome. I can only imagine the experience and the feel that he's going to have stepping on that stage that night. Being 3 weeks earlier, 2.5 weeks earlier, being in a fucking prison cell.
It's going to be quite an event. And John, since this is the last show of the tour, can you point out a few cities, a few crowds that stood out this time around?
Oh man, Hartford is always the shit. I mean, Hartford is the shit because they get their medal here. Surprisingly enough, LA is sometimes kind of, milk toast, if you will. But this year we did 27,000 people in LA, and it was off the hook. Fires everywhere, crazy. We had an incredible mud pit in half the lawn was destroyed. We had this incredible mud pit in Pittsburgh a couple days ago. Chicago's always awesome. America loves their metal, man.
We're here to do it. Thank you, man, again,
Awesome,
for your time. I know you're busy. You got to go back to work. But thank you very much for what you do.
Cheers. Peace out. Rock. Bring it.
God is mad because the 5th edition of the Rockstar Energy Mayhem Festival is coming to an end.